Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Now, regular viewers of my channel will probably be aware that SVBony now sponsor this channel, and it's their 9th anniversary coming up very, very soon. Now, whenever SVBony have some kind of anniversary or event, they always have some amazing deals on offer. Now, I have recently done a post. If you go onto my main page of my channel and have a look on there, there's a post all about the upcoming event. Now, this is going to involve, of course, loads of discount products and giveaways, and that's one of the reasons why you really should join in the fun, because I remember last year, I think it was last year, they had a great event and some fantastic giveaway. Like I say, I have done a post on this, but I thought I'd give you a heads up just in case you haven't seen that, and there is some awesome links in the description of this video with some amazing deals, so please have a look at them if you are in the market for some new astronomy equipment, basically. Now, of course, I do get a tiny bit of percentage of any sales done with them links, but that's not what it's all about, folks. I always said when I started this channel, if I was ever going to take a sponsorship, it was going to be relevant to my channel. There's no point in having an astronomy channel and you know, being sponsored by sunglasses or something. So that's what I'm saying. Without sounding cheesy or corny, this channel has always been about you, my audience, so it really will benefit you to have a look at those links in the description. Now, with that being said, as you can see, I've got another amazing product from SVBony, and I really am excited to introduce this to you. This is SVBony's MK90 Maksutov-Cassegrain telescope. Now, a Maksutov-Cassegrain type telescope means it uses lenses and mirrors. You probably can see it's got what's called a corrective lens here at the front, and then I don't know if the light's catching that. I'll show you a close-up, and there's a primary mirror down at the bottom, a 90mm primary mirror down at the bottom. And the way these work is a little bit different to standard reflecting telescopes. You see, the light comes in through the front of the objective, hits the primary mirror at the back, and then bounces back up to this convex mirror that you can see shining on the front there. That's actually injected on the front of the lens, and then bounces back down to the focus or the eyepiece here. And as you can see, instead of like a standard reflector where you would be looking up near the opening of the telescope, you would actually view the image or insert the eyepiece at the back of the telescope here, a little bit like a refracting type telescope. So that means it's actually bending the light, so it's coming down, back up and back down. Now, if you unfold all that light path, you're actually getting a telescope 3 times as long as what you're seeing here. So in actual fact, this is actually a 1250mm focal length. The focal ratio of this telescope is an f13.9. Now, you wouldn't think it, would you, in a telescope that's around about 290mm long. It's really like I say, the TARDIS of telescopes. So you can see why I call this the TARDIS of telescopes, because like I say, you've got this little compact tube with such big power and a lot of performance through one of these telescopes. Now, many moons ago, pardon the pun, I did actually own something similar to this, and I always said some of the best views of the planets and the moon was through a Maksutov type telescope. They really are fantastic planetary and lunar telescopes. Now, unfortunately, with the British weather, I've not had much time to play with this. In fact, I've not really owned it that long. I think I've owned it for about 3 or 4 days. But the weather, as you know, in the UK has been terrible. But last night, I did manage to get out and have a good couple of hours under the night sky. And at the minute of 2026, Jupiter is really high in the sky. And with any celestial target, that's always the best time to look at them, when they're high up in the sky, because low in the sky is when you get all that atmospheric disturbance and a lot of wobble. And when I got Jupiter in the eyepiece through this telescope, I had to take a second look, and I'm not exaggerating, folks. It was absolutely beautiful. It did not disappoint. Like I say, I was excited to get it out anyway and have a look at the planets because like it's the best I've ever seen them through a Cassegrain, and it did not disappoint one little bit. I mean, Jupiter properly looked like a little three-dimensional disc in the sky. It looked fantastic. I could see quite easily the belts on the surface, easily the Galilean moons. I mean, that's obvious. You can see the Galilean moons or the moons of Jupiter even with binoculars. So something like this quality instrument, you're definitely going to see them. And of course, you can do a little bit of deep sky work with one of these. I mean, it is a small aperture. Remember, it's only 90 millimeters, but don't let that put you off. Honestly, folks, do not let that put you off. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. The Orion Nebula looked absolutely fantastic. What else did I have a look at? The Pleiades, of course. All the quite brighter deep sky targets are really lovely in this telescope. Of course, you're going to struggle with a lot of the fainter ones because, as I said, this is only the 90 millimeter version. But take this to dark skies, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Now, I must point out that this telescope is what's called an OTA. That means optical tube assembly only. So that does mean you're going to have to provide your own mount. You are going to have to provide your own accessories such as eyepieces and diagonals. But you know what? Again, don't let that put you off because it's usually the quality instruments that are in this sort of category of OTA only. But I would advise keep checking SVBony's channel because they often bring out package deals. So this may well, I mean, I can't promise that. I'm just assuming that. But usually, like I say, just keep an eye on their channel, and usually these package deals do come with this type of telescope. Now, the telescope has a dovetail bracket, so that means you do need a mount that's going to accept these dovetail type fittings. But to be honest with you, all telescopes really are becoming this now, and it's my favorite method of attaching a telescope. They're incredibly simple to attach with this dovetail mount. Now, what I've been using this with is the SV135 Mini. It works absolutely beautiful with this, and also, of course, the SV225, its bigger sibling. And it looks a little bit small on the larger mount, the SV225. But you know what? They always say, the larger the mount, the more sturdier the mount, the better. You can never have overkill when it comes to mounts and telescopes. Now, a little bit more on the telescope. It does come with a fully metal finder scope bracket here, so you can the shoe if you like. So it's quite easy to fit any finder scope of your choice, whether that's a red dot or maybe an optical finder, and you just simply will slip that in, and just the standard, you have these two thumb screws here to attach that. Very straightforward and simple. Now, to focus one of these telescopes, you may have noticed it looks a bit strange. There's no standard rack and pinion type of focuser. And the focus is actually achieved here with this little knob here. And I just can't tell you how beautiful this focuser is. I mean, I don't know. I can't really demonstrate it. Like just using my little finger, you can see how easily this turns. It's beautiful to use. Now, unlike a standard telescope, like such as a refractor or a rack and pinion, where the focusing tube moves in and out, what actually happens with these type of telescopes is it moves the primary mirror. So it would move the primary mirror closer to the eyepiece and further away to achieve focus. With this silky smooth action, achieving focus is absolutely no problem at all. In fact, I kept getting prime focus and then thinking, oh, I can't be in focus already, you know, a little bit of a tweak. It was so nice to use. It really is a joy to use this, folks. Another thing that's becoming pretty standard in old telescopes now, it does have compression fittings here, like a compression ring here. This keeps your eyepiece nice and centrally squared in the eyepiece, in the focuser, sorry. You just simply attach that. Not only that, it helps protect your eyepieces, because these little thumb screws, they can sometimes scratch, you know, your nice new eyepiece sort of thing. But with having this brass ring in here, it keeps everything nice and secure and without damaging any of your hardware. Now, this telescope does use mirrors, so that means there is collimation involved. Please don't let that put you off though, especially in these smaller Cassegrain telescopes. Now, like I say, I had one for years and I never had to do any collimation on it. Maybe I should have checked a little bit more often, but the views were always so beautiful on it anyway. But the collimation couldn't be easier on these. It's these simple, there's 3 covers here. I don't know if you can see them. I'll do a close-up. And if I remove one of those, they're just little protective covers to stop any dirt getting in there. And inside there, you can see there's Allen screws there. Now, they are simply push-me-pull-me affairs, if you like, that you can twist the mirror either way with these screws. Really easy to do. And the thing is about these, if you do need to collimate it, I must say, though, this was shipped overseas and arrived perfectly collimated, so it just shows you have to really knock these about, to be honest. So it has to be extreme different weather temperatures for you to worry about the collimation, especially in a telescope of this size. But one thing I can say, collimating a Cassegrain telescope, I think, in my personal opinion, is a lot easier than collimating a standard reflecting type telescope. And this is purely because on not all Maksutov-Cassegrains are a fixed mirror. Some do have a collimating mirror at the front, but this is a fixed mirror. You can see that the reflective aluminium coating is actually injected onto the corrective lens at the front. So that means that never moves. So you only have one mirror to collimate, and it's a really easy process. The telescope, I haven't got them handy at the minute, but the telescope does come with full instructions on how to do this. But you know, unless you're in extreme weather conditions or you've dropped the thing, please don't do that. I'll be very, very surprised if you do have to ever collimate it of a telescope this size anyway. I just want to point out as well, if you do think this is maybe a little bit too small for you, it does come in 2 different sizes as well. They also have a 105mm and a 127, I believe. If I've got that wrong, I'll flash the correct sizes on the screen. But to be honest with you, this little 90 is fantastic. Now, I know you're probably not going to believe this, but my largest telescope is a 150mm reflector. You know, after all, this channel is small optics. And that's one of the reasons I'm so pleased that they sent me the 90, because the channel small optics simply means that you don't have to have a massive telescope to see amazing views. And that's exactly what you're going to get with this. Trust me, folks, you really are going to be stunned. It's a wow factor when it comes to the moon and planets through this little scope. And going back to my 130, if I was to do a blind test at the eyepiece, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. If I was looking at Jupiter, and dare I say it, I think Jupiter or the planets, because it was only Jupiter I got a chance to have a look at before the clouds come rolling in. But dare I say it, I think Jupiter looked better through this than it did my big 130 reflector. They are. It's one of them things, see it to believe it, basically. Now, I would recommend this telescope to seasoned astronomers and beginners. It's the full range, really. And what makes these telescopes so special is this compact size. I shall put the weight on the screen now. I can't think of it offhand, but I mean, it's not particularly heavy. And as you can see, this is just gonna pack away in a little small hold sort of thing. It's so versatile to travel with, take to star parties, take on holiday with you, whatever. Because remember, you're getting a massive focal length for such a small, compact telescope. Now, if you're just wondering, you are a beginner, and obviously you are, you're watching this channel, focal length, if you think of it a little bit like a magnifying glass, the further away you move the magnifying glass from the object, the more it magnifies that object. This is a very basic and simple way of trying to get your head around focal length. So the longer the focal length, the more magnification you're going to get. This really is a powerhouse in a small package. Now, I did say that this was the OTA only, so that means you do have to provide the mount, the diagonal, finder scope, if you like, and the eyepiece. But I can't recommend more than this diagonal, also by SVBony, if you want to get a good diagonal, because if there's ever a weak link in a telescope that uses a diagonal, diagonal, it's usually the diagonal. Now, this is the SVBony 188P, and it's a dielectric diagonal, which means it's got a 99% reflective coating. It's a beautiful diagonal, works really well, and looks quite handsome actually with this telescope. I'll just pop that in for you. Just tighten them up there like that. And as you can see, that looks really nice with the telescope. And when it comes to eyepieces, why not use the 135 with this as well? This is the SV135 Zoom. It works fantastic with this telescope, really, really compatible with it. And as you can see, it makes a really tidy little kit there. So I can't recommend this enough, folks. Like I say, links will be into the description below where to get one of these for yourselves, whether you're a beginner, seasoned. Oh, and of course, I must point out that it is great for astrophotography, just in case you're wondering. Very popular at the minute. And I forgot to mention, actually, while we're on the subject of astrophotography, it does have threads on the focuser here, so you can fit a T-ring for cameras and such like. Now, as always, folks, links in the description where to grab yourself one of these fine telescopes. And I would, oh, and I even mentioned the price, have you? Well, for the OTA only, it's £119. I think it's £119.40p. I'll put the exact price up here, but links in the description. And I would honestly grab one of these straight away. It's fantastic. It's so versatile. Like I say, it's one of them grab and go telescopes. When I arrived at my house, I literally got it out of the thing, no collimation involved. I just put the diagonal in, put the eyepiece in on the mount, boom, and I was away having a great time with it. And I'm sure you will too. Well, that's about it for another video, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you have watched this far, thank you so much to SVBony for sending me this to have a look at. And don't forget, folks, have a look on my bio page, on my post, on lots more details on the upcoming 9th anniversary for SVBony. You don't want to miss it. In the meantime, folks, keep your fingers crossed to the starry gods that we have some clear skies. And I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.